Well, the concrete is finally down. Hello, I'm Griff Rees, welcome to Gwynny Griffith. Here we talk everything beekeeping, farming, countryside living, and we do reviews as well. Now, last couple of weeks, we have been redoing the yard here up in front of the bee shed. And the old concrete, it got really dangerous, cracking in places, big potholes appearing. And we've been dodging this job and we finally have done it. And took a fair old loads, took 5 loads, 6 cube loads, to do the yard, and we were half a cube short right at the end, so we had to mix the last bit by hand, but we had pretty good weather to do it. We've dodged most of the rain and the storms which we're getting now. Glad we're not concreting today, otherwise the pad would have been heavily damaged with the amount of rain we've had today. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Now, when you're concreting a big area like this, well, big for me, 5 loads is the most concrete I've ever put down for something that I own. And it is a lot of money, but concreting an area is an investment. That's why I'm looking at it. So hopefully this will be a perfect, good, hard standing for the rest of my life. Hopefully this will see me out, no problem, and hopefully more. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it's looking. Everything's super, super smooth. I'm walking on there, gliding all over it. It's lovely to walk on. Now, a few of the reasons why we did it. Number one, I was worried about someone falling, hurting themselves, potentially putting a claim against us if someone got hurt or injured. That's always a risk factor when anybody's walking on your property, so we needed to sort that out, get rid of all the trip hazards, etc. Number two, I've got on order an electric pallet truck to move pallets, take deliveries, move pallets out the shed, make things a bit easier, so I've got that on order. As it was, we couldn't use an electric pallet truck at all, so we had to sort the floor out to accommodate that, make things a lot easier for us. And then finally, thirdly, it just looked really untidy. It looked rubbish. It looked like the place wasn't cared for. So we had to sort that out. So I'm really pleased with the end result, and money well spent, I think. Now, a little bit about the kind of loads we put down. We put down RC45. That's the mix we put down. that we put down. So it's a reinforced concrete mix, really, really hard-wearing, heavy-duty. I think RC45 is known to be the mix that you put on farms. So anything with a tractor, forklift, tractors, heavy type of machinery, driving on it constantly, that's the kind of mix you want to put down. And this area here, even though it's the front of the bee shed here, we still wanted this to be agricultural spec, so the tractor is going to drive on this. The digger might come on it. When we get the forklift will drive on there. So this needed to be heavy duty. We wanted it up to farm spec. And we actually put down probably average 7 inches of concrete across the whole floor. We dug out a fair bit first. We put stone down, we rolled that in, and then we put roughly 7 inches of concrete over the top. Now, 7 inches of concrete sounds like a lot, and some people would say that's overkill. But when you're thinking a tractor weighs roughly 5 ton, say it's got a hedge cutter on the back, that's another ton, and say for argument's sake that's lifting a pallet of deliveries which weighs a ton, takes that deliveries up to the top shed, you're talking you got something 7 ton driving on the concrete floor, and after spending the time, energy and effort redoing the floor, the last thing you want is that cracking under the weight. Now, looking at the future, there might be lorries coming in here. We've got the back entrance up there, so lorries can actually come in here. So that the floor needed to be heavy grade to accommodate lorries and the like. So that's why we went with RC45, and that's why we went with 7 inches. So a bit about the process of doing this job. As I explained, we dug it all out, we put stone down, we roll that down. Next job is we put some shuttering up. Ready mix. The lorry was coming back to the back of the yard. The digger we'd turn the bucket round upside down on the digger. The digger would take the concrete, and the digger there would then pour it in different spots in the yard. So it made handling the concrete very, very easy. We could actually rake the concrete as we needed it to. It wasn't in one big lump. The digger was doing all the heavy graft for us. So having the digger on site made the job a lot easier. And Melvin Evans, the guy who's been helping me doing this job, he's pretty good on the digger. That makes a big help as well. The next job was then we took a vibrating screeder along the concrete, so that levels it and brings the cream up to the top. So it gives you a nice, not level, because we're on a big slope, yeah? So it's quite awkward to work out the slopes. So that screeder brings, it levels it. So if you wanted to level it on a slope, it pulls it at the line you want it to. I'll say level it. It just smooths it out to the angle that you want it to. So then you can see then if there's a hole anywhere or it's not sitting quite right, that vibrating screeder does that job, brings the cream up, takes the air out of the concrete, packs it down tight, because you don't want air in the concrete. That screeder does a really good job of that. Then finally, once we pour a section, we put the shuttering up to it, and we let that dry. But before we let that dry, we take a bull float. We used a long steel head bull float, and to glide over the concrete. Now that gives the smooth finish which we wanted. We wanted this to be super smooth for forklift and pallet trucks, that type of thing. And that steel bull float did the job for that really well. And I've got to say, credit to Mel, because Mel was the brains behind this job. I was just the grafter, the labourer, no skill involved from me. I was just helping out doing some of the heavy graft. And it is looking really good. Because I was worried, when you look at the surface here, we've got, I don't know, 10 different angles that we had to work off to get this looking like it is, and it's worked out really well. Well, nothing to it now, but to show you some footage of us actually concreting so you get an idea of how this was done. Hope you enjoy it. Well, that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you've learned a little bit about concreting, and maybe this kind of surface will do you if you're ever looking for a hard wearing surface at your farm. Well, that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and don't forget, if you like this video and you want to watch more of the same kind of content, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I try my best to upload new videos every week. Thanks for watching.